boys and girls, and welcome to Story Time. Today, our stories happened once upon a time. Cinderella, written by Hara Lewis. There once was a beautiful girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had a mean stepmother and two ugly stepsisters. She made her cook and clean and wear ragged clothes. One day, the prince of the land decided to give a ball. Cinderella's stepsisters were invited, but Cinderella was not. The sisters tried on dresses to wear. They made Cinderella fix their hair. "Cinderella, wouldn't you love to go to the ball?" they asked, laughing. "I wished I could go," Cinderella cried softly. Soon, it was the night of the ball. The stepsisters rushed off to the palace. Cinderella sat alone, crying. Just then, her fairy godmother appeared. "I will help you go to the ball, Cinderella." The fairy godmother tapped 7 mice with her wand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They turned into 6 fine horses and a jolly coachman. Then she waved her wand over a pumpkin, and it turned into a fancy coach. She waved her wand once more. Cinderella's torn dress turned into a beautiful gown, and pretty glass slippers appeared on her feet. "Now you must hurry," said the fairy godmother. "The spell will end at midnight. You must return home before the clock strikes 12. At the ball, the prince danced only with Cinderella. No one knew that Cinderella was the beautiful princess. The clock struck 12. Ding! It was midnight. The spell was about to end. Cinderella forgot about the time. Cinderella ran from the palace. One of her glass slippers fell on the steps. The prince ran after Cinderella. He could not catch her. He picked up the slipper and went back to the ball. The prince wanted to find the beautiful princess. The next day, he took the glass slipper with him into town. He wanted every woman in the land to try on the shoe. "I will marry the one whose foot fits the slipper," the prince said. The prince reached Cinderella's house. Her mean stepsisters pushed Cinderella aside. They each tried on the slipper. It did not fit. "May I try?" Cinderella asked. Her stepsisters laughed at her, but the prince placed the shoe on her foot. It fit perfectly. Cinderella pulled the other slipper from her pocket. She slid it on. Her sisters were shocked. Suddenly, her fairy godmother appeared. She turned Cinderella's ragged dress into a lovely gown. "You are the one I danced with," said the prince to Cinderella. "Will you marry me?" he asked. "Yes," said Cinderella, and Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after. The end. The Three Bears. And here is great big Papa Bear, uh-huh, uh-huh. And here is medium-sized Mama Bear, uh-huh, uh-huh. And here is little baby bear, he's the one with the fuzzy hair. And they all lived in the woods, deep in the woods, deep in the woods. Now Father Bear, he likes to build, uh-huh, uh-huh. And Mama Bear, she likes to cook, uh-huh, uh-huh. And Baby Bear, he likes to play. He plays baseball outside all day. And they all lived in the woods, deep in the woods, deep in the woods. A little girl named Goldilocks, uh-huh, uh-huh, went knocking at the three bears' door, uh-huh, uh-huh. She walked into their house that day. No one was there, they had gone away. They went walking in the woods, deep in the woods, deep in the woods. The bears came back and found a mess, uh-huh, uh-huh. An empty bowl, a broken chair, uh-huh, uh-huh. But they went upstairs to Baby Bear's bed. Goldilocks screamed, ah! And bumped her head. And she ran away from the bears deep in the woods, deep in the woods. Princess Power, written by Natalie Davis. Today is the first day of school. What would a princess do? In the morning, Mulan would put on her armor to feel brave. In my favorite jeans, I am ready for anything. Jasmine would not be shy about sharing her options. I think school should be all year long. When introducing herself to the class, Belle would know how to tell a good story. I like to use my imagination too. Like what I did on my summer vacation. Rapunzel wouldn't be afraid to get paint on her clothes during art time. Sometimes you have to get messy in order to create a masterpiece. If Cinderella was starting at a new school, she would make friends with everyone. Everyone is human or not. Every princess needs an animal sidekick. It's hard to sit still and be patient when there's so much I want to do. But Pocahontas would go with the flow, even if she didn't know what was coming next. When learning a new skill, Moana would say, you have to keep trying until you find your way. It takes practice to get really good at something. If Merida had recess, she would let her hair fly free and show everyone what girls are made of. Snow White would make the day brighter for someone, or 7 someones. Ariel would use playtime to discover a new way of looking at things. Ta-da! It's a snarfblat. Tiana would keep on working hard, even if she didn't get it right on the first try. I'll get there. At the end of the day, Aurora would know that even the busiest princess need a good night's sleep. Tomorrow is another day to accomplish big things. With a little bit of princess power, I can do anything. And that's the end.